What's going on, guys? Welcome to a new episode of the HardCast. Today we have a special guest, someone I've been friends with for just over a year now. Actually, when I moved to Canada, I had the pleasure to meet Maria. She was one of the people in the group that took me in, almost like adopted me as a friend, and made me feel very welcome coming into Canada. And today I'm sitting down with her, having a conversation. What I want to base this off is your journey competing, how you got into fitness, and almost like, I guess, some of the dark reality that people won't understand about competing. Because obviously when you step on stage, you're so beautiful, makeup's done, hair's done, tan's on, you're the best you've ever looked, and you're proud, you're smiling all the time, even though you're in pain, like you're still smiling. So like it's literally this facade up until like obviously when the show's over and you can actually breathe. It's the happiness when it's all said and done. But leading up to that, like the beginning of prep, everyone's motivation is so high, but then as it gets deeper and there's uncertainty and you get closer to the show, the emotion fades away. Your empathy ceases to exist, and all you know is your meals, your cardio, your plan, what your coach says, and that's it. And then even when you step on stage, you kind of stress about, oh, is my tan going to go well? My makeup, all these things. And it's just like it looks amazing on the outside, but I want to know the other side. And I'm sure if you've never competed before, you may want to know too. You may learn a thing or two. You may be thinking about competing, and you know, this may either motivate you to do it because it may set you up like, you know what, I could take it. But then some people are going to be like, holy shit, I had no idea that like my body was going to do that, or I was going to feel that kind of way. Because some people go into depression, you know, because you go so low because you push your hormones around. But I'm going to let you take the mic and just introduce yourself a little bit. So name, all that sort of stuff. Where are you from?
I am a bikini competitor. I work with HD Muscle internally as an athlete as well. So I know a lot of behind the scenes, and I'm also a bombshell sportswear athlete. I am also a lifestyle coach. I
feel like it's hard to say when someone asks you like what you do. Like Maria is a beast of a competitor. She works for HD Muscle. She's a lot of the foundation behind HD Muscle. She manages athletes and stuff, manages like the majority previously or still customer service.
I still do that.
So she's
managing. Be kind with your customer service.
Managing stressed out people on a day-to-day basis. She's also a coach with Team HD as well.
Yes.
So you're very, very busy. You got a lot going on.
Yes.
And I'm surprised you had enough time to come on the podcast, which is amazing.
Well, I gotta make time.
You actually just came from work.
Yes, I just came from work. That's why I look like this. You didn't tell me this was gonna be like recorded like this, so thanks for that.
I said podcast. I didn't say like YouTube video as well.
It's as real as it gets.
If you're listening on a podcast channel, we also have a YouTube channel, so please come over and subscribe as well, so you can get to see our beautiful or not so beautiful faces. When did you get into the gym? Not so yet competing yet. Was competing something you found like further down the line?
Yes. So when I started university, I actually, obviously as a student, I moved out of home, and I needed to find a hobby to kind of take my mind away from like the craziness of school.
Of course.
Also, I used to struggle with like body image issues, and I was that girl who would look at models and be like, I wish I looked like that.
You wish you looked like these like skinny, like
just like these models that you would see on magazine. It wasn't even like bikini athletes or anything like that, because at that point I wasn't really introduced to bodybuilding.
Okay.
But I never thought I could, because my body was shaped in a way that it just didn't see it happening for me.
Okay.
And I was very not informed that you can actually create the body. You can train to create a certain shape.
So did you start smaller? You started like being like smaller?
I started, yes. So I basically, my body composition was obviously higher body fat, very low, like very average lean body mass.
Okay. So then like when you saw these people like, you know, in the magazines or whatever else, people that you compared yourself to, did you automatically think like that will never be me?
Yes. It was like, that will never be me, but I wish it could be.
Okay. And then what did you like? Did you go to the gym with the goal of doing that, or was it just like something to just be a distraction in the beginning?
It was a distraction at the beginning, and then in university, obviously, at the time my boyfriend was now my fiance.
Yeah.
He was very fit when I met him, he was into MMA and all that stuff, and
Okay.
his nutrition was like on point. No sugar, like no processed foods. I used to drink my calories. So
Okay.
my big advice: do not waste your calories
Don't waste
drinking
calories.
them. Yeah.
Not worth
So
it.
he started as a motivation. Then a friend I used to have in university, and she was kind of my gym buddy.
Your gym buddy.
Yes.
I feel like it always starts like that. Like you can want to go to the gym yourself, but as soon as you have some sort of friendship in the gym, someone to like bring you back, whether it's like there every time or just every now and again, it's someone that you can like grow to love the gym with in a positive way. Because so many people go to the gym these days and they go alone and they like compare themselves to people on Instagram, but they feel like they're in like uncharted waters and they're in this pool of information that they don't actually know what to turn to. But I feel like when you go with someone, it's someone to collaborate with on thought and exercise and how to do different things, and when it's almost more fun as well when you're not by yourself.
I think also when you first start, you are afraid that you don't want to get into a gym setting because you don't know what you're doing. So I don't want like, the dudes lifting heavy weights and just like grunting around you. That is very intimidating as a female who, one, doesn't feel confident in her skin, and obviously this like kind of association with male and female and the way you look and the way they're gonna look at you if you don't know what you're doing at the gym.
You're right.
So you kind of feel like afraid of judgment, and I think that was the reason why I was held back at first, and why I was waiting for someone to be my gym buddy to like be like,
Just
okay.
a bit of confidence.
Yes.
Like a helping hand.
I just need a little boost to be like, you can do this.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that's why gym etiquette for guys like listening, because I know like the majority of the boys listening to this right now, they want to throw their weights around in the gym. They want to like seem like a fucking savage in their stringer and stuff and hitting the next PR deadlift. But also like that can put someone off. Like if you're like not in the right setting and stuff, and you may feel so like, boisterous and like powerful yourself and like you're smashing your goals and stuff, but realistically like there may be someone in the gym that's literally their first day and they might not be used to that kind of thing. And then obviously if you are coming from a place of like you're not 100% confident in yourself and you're just trying to be there to learn and you just want to go and do your workout, learn a little bit and go away, and not listen to screaming lads just like, come on bro, you can fucking do it, because it's just like, where am I, like what am I doing, like
yeah, it doesn't just apply to like the male to female relationship, but also like guys, like you have this dude who also wants to gain muscle, and then they see someone like you, let's say at the gym, and then they're like, will I ever get like that? I don't think so. I just look ridiculous at the gym. Or
I feel like it's nice as well the way you started with like Jeff, now your fiance. Jeff's a legend, by the way, if he's listening to this podcast. You've been together now how long?
Almost 9 years.
Almost 9 years. When did you become like your fiance?
5 years ago.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
Man, book the date.
It's just like I put a ring on that, and then just like whatever.
Yeah, keep it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no rush with weddings and stuff. I feel like an engagement is a show of like it's the highest gesture of like love underneath a wedding. You know what I mean? Like underneath that like seal the deal moment, and it kind of just like keeps a latch on them. Like,
exactly. You're going nowhere.
Are my fiance, and that is it. Like, because if you're just a boyfriend and girlfriend, it's like it's not as serious as if like you got a ring on it kind of thing already.
Yeah, it makes it more official.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And well, fair play to the guy. So with him doing MMA and with your friend and stuff, like when did you? Because you were learning from like I guess nutrition from Jeff and just like seeing that he was into fitness more, and obviously like now your friend doing it too, and you're going to the gym together. When did you want to compete? When the hell did that happen?
So I actually started, I had a few friends who were into bodybuilding within the gym setting, and they were also in my program. So I took medical sciences, and like I used to have like chemistry labs and all that stuff. So
you're
you
smart.
meet people. Yeah.
Secretly.
I like to think so.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Of course I'm smart.
She's a smart one.
And yeah, I got introduced to the bodybuilding world, and then obviously Instagram was such a thing. Like it started being a huge thing.
Of course.
And then I started seeing like girls just like in these like sparkly bikinis, like with the tan, with the hair, and I was just like, okay.
Literally what I spoke about at the beginning, the facade, oh my god, that looks so amazing, I want to do that, until you realize.
Yeah, it takes, okay, we'll get into that, but it caught my attention. However, I knew that competing was expensive because I had a friend who had done it, and it wasn't something I was ready to do as a student. So also I wasn't sure, and I knew that I needed some time to build at the gym in order for me to take my fitness to the next level kind of thing.
Sure.
So I kind of waited 3 years to compete.
Okay, so you'd like been going to the gym like full on for like 3 years, and then you waited to build the foundation?
It was on and off, to be honest. I wasn't a serious athlete to be like, yes, I'm gonna compete.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
honestly, I was very hesitant.
Yeah.
Because I also didn't think I could do it. So it was
like the self denial of like, you know, is this going to be me and stuff. You compare yourself to people online and stuff, but obviously, like, I feel like one thing that people not don't realize, but what they will realize in like the long run is the people that look like they do on Instagram and stuff, like, it's because they've been doing it a long time, or genetically gifted, or not natural. It's one of them. But typically, someone that has this absolutely insane physique, they've got 5 to 10 years of lifting under their belt.
Yeah, it doesn't happen overnight.
And in 10 years, a lot can happen. Like,
we all started there, and like we don't think of that the people we look up to, they started at the same.
Literally, like they were either fat, or they were anorexic, or they were totally normal, and they looked like stupid average in the street, and now they're this pinnacle of physique, and they are this beautiful phoenix on the stage, or this huge, humongous bodybuilder. But they started off just like the day one, which is like,
it has to start with a strong motive, though, and you have to. I feel like I needed to find a deeper meaning to why I wanted to compete, not just because it was the cool thing to do or because I wanted to look a certain way, but because I just wanted to challenge myself in a sense that I wanted, I guess, search for validation by achieving something that I thought I couldn't do.
But that's validation by yourself.
Yes,
like,
not the world, but myself. Because I knew I was a smart person in like university, but I wanted to get out of that kind of comfort zone because I was always an active person. I was a cheerleader. I used to play soccer, basketball.
Oh my god!
I did track and field.
So in school, like, you were into all the sports. Smart as hell. I bet it was hard to get like a day free. Like, oh my god!
I was. My mom had a lot of expectations for me, and I think that was something also that kind of pushed me to always look for more, and to look for more potential within me, because I think that was the biggest thing.
Well, that's a good foundation. Like, you know, having high expectations for yourself and stuff, especially like being competitive, like younger, you know, always having to like maybe like get the same grades you're always getting, or like, you know, perform in sports that you were doing before. Like, I feel like, you know, when you come from the foundation of like, you know, I guess not the pressure, but like, I guess the competitiveness and stuff, taking that to like the rest of your life with like things that you do, whether it be like entrepreneurial or now for you competing and everything, it sets a good foundation because you've always had that expectation for yourself, right? Yeah. And do you think that like always being like that when you were younger, it has helped? 100%. Yeah. And I feel like the fact that you always want to look for more and challenge yourself, you come to a conclusion that in life you never really stop learning about the world, people, and yourself, because I feel like experiences do shape us, whether it's like internally or externally, and you kind of find a new side of you that you didn't know about. Definitely. And that's, you know, that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this podcast, is literally because, like, you know, experiences can shape you, and so can conversations. Like, you can learn something from someone else that like you didn't know, or like a point of view on something, and it can shape you as a person. It can give you a new perspective and a new outlook to, like, you know, take with you for the rest of your life. And like, even a conversation about whether it be competing or something, you can gain some interest towards something, right? Yes. So I feel like that's why experience is so important. You know, doing things that you have never done before, diving into, like, you know, things that you aren't comfortable with. Yeah. To learn and to grow, because if you don't do those things, how are you gonna? You're just always gonna say the same. Yeah, like, you're just gonna be stuck in that little box, and then all you're gonna know is what's around you, really. Yeah. And like, what's the point of life? I mean, there is a meaning to life if you decide to do that, but you're not living to the fullest. And I feel like we only get one life, and we need to do that. You said meaning for life, and I feel like when you search for that, like, what is the meaning, right? Everyone's like, what's the meaning of life? Like, what am I here to do? I feel like you literally create your own meaning. Like, you literally have to create, like, the same way you know, write in your notes, like, your, like, you know, plan for the day. What is the plan for your life? Because that is the foundation of why you're here. Not for any other purpose. Like, yeah, you can try and positively impact the people around you and stuff, but like, what are you here to do? And only you can tell you that, because like, you can be a cog in the system and have all these people like tell you to do this job, tell you to do this, and that becomes your purpose if you listen to it for long enough, right? You just become someone in someone else's world. Because you settle. I feel like you settle. Yeah. And like, that's the worst mistake, to settle for
just average or for like what the world expects from you, or it's people, which is the worst. And I used to be a people pleaser. And I learned the wrong way to stand up for myself and just do things my way, because sometimes, even though some people may think it's selfish, putting yourself first and really like having a conversation with yourself of what you want from life and looking for the meaning, because if you don't have a meaning to everything you do, you're either going to half-ass it or you're just not going to finish.
Yeah. And honestly, like if you don't have a meaning right now, like if someone's listening that they don't know what their meaning is, if you actively do something every day, you'll eventually find your meaning. Like you'll find what you like to do. Like, you know, I didn't go to the gym when I was 16 years old, walk in the gym the first day and was like, this is the meaning of my life. Yeah. I'm here and I know exactly what I'm going to do now for the next, 20 years of forever.
It will click because it just feels right.
Yeah. I feel like your meaning comes from repetition and creating the habit of like, and also exposing yourself to something that you can.
Like, get out there.
Yeah.
Get out there. Take the risk. And if it doesn't work, you get to say, I tried. Yeah. That wasn't for me. Move on to the next thing, because
so do something that scares you.
Yes.
Kind of thing. Anyone listening, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And stop asking questions, right? I feel like too many people ask questions these days, and too many people are like, what if I did this, and like what would my friends say, or what would my parents say, or like what are the repercussions of this action? You will find out what the repercussions are when you've done it, and then you can actually learn from those, whether it be a success or a mistake, but it's still a step forward regardless.
Yeah.
That's I feel like one of the most amazing things about like experimenting with the things and finding, that it is always like the journey that's the most enjoyable part before you like find that passion. And all the mistakes, all the fuck ups and stuff, those are the stories that you're going to tell your friends and your families and your kids and stuff, all the things you did wrong, because those are the funniest things to speak about. All the things you did in the past that were like, man, why the fuck did I do that? But I'm so glad I did, because this happened and it was a great memory.
Don't you ask that question a lot?
Yeah. I must, right? Like, fucking, that's all I ever asked myself. Like, Brandon, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, but it was sick though, right?
Was it? It was good.
Probably not. Probably not.
We all do things like that, and just like you're like, what was I thinking then? But then that's how you learn.
Typically on drugs or drunk, or maybe sober, depending on who you are.
Depending.
And how confident you are.
Yeah.
Okay, so your first competition ever, like your first time stepping on stage.
So that was 2018.
2018, so that was 3 years ago. So your first experience, what did you take away from it? Like, do you think that, like, what did you learn from that first experience in terms of like, could you have pushed harder? What did you wish you knew?
So the things I wish I knew before starting is basically, okay, so I knew the cost and the commitment. However, it ended up being way more expensive than I thought.
Yeah.
It was basically a full-time job, which I didn't know, because like I said, it depends where you start in prep. But at this time I did a 16-week prep, and it was enough time to kind of gradually do it.
Of course.
And doing your research on who, I think that the hardest part was like looking for a coach I could trust.
Of course, right.
So I kind of went through a few options, and you have to do your research, because as this industry can be really good, but it also can be really toxic, in the sense that there are some people, unfortunately I have to say this, but out there to get your money.
Oh no, there are 100%. There are so many coaches out there that are just like, they will sell you dreams. They're dream sellers, because they are the best coach in the world. They know all, and you will learn so much from them. And then after your experience with them, they're going to be like, you will know all you need to know to take on with you to the rest of your life, right? But some people are just really good at talking shit, and they're salespeople. They're not coaches, right? So they want to sell as many plans as possible to as many people that they have copied and pasted and sent to numerous people. And I can't even tell you the amount of people that do that. And it's really, really embarrassing when like someone like yourself, or people that like you have had a successful coaching experience with, put in so much work and effort and time into like developing the plans and like really making sure everything's tailored, and then there's just people here making all the money, all the bags, making fucking all the bread, and they just
send your plan, you never hear from them,
and they don't give a shit,
or like you have to follow up. So doing your research on who to work with, because you're basically trusting this person to bring the best, but also because it's your first time, you don't know what to expect, and you don't know what your body's going to do. Is they going to, like, I didn't know I had like the genetics to kind of like for things to move a little bit faster. I know like Spanish people have like a tendency to either have really good genetics or really shit genetics. I don't know. I don't have the best genetics.
I mean, when I think of like not to like, I guess like objectify or not objectify, I don't know what the grammatically correct term would be, but when you think of like a Spanish woman, you think of some like senorita, some like beautiful red dress,
Curvy.
or
yeah, you're thinking of the emoji,
or you think of Dory the Explorer's mom.
Exactly.
You don't think of
so
the
you
in between.
It could be either or.
Yeah.
Okay, so I wasn't the perfect example of a Latina girl.
Okay.
You know, like I didn't have curves here and there, didn't have the big like peach, you know.
So you didn't know you could grow it. You didn't know you could have it.
I didn't know I had it in me.
Yeah.
Right. So as soon as I started to see changes, and obviously I was financially ready and like at a good spot to be like, okay, I can dedicate some time to achieve this.
Of course.
And then I found someone who I thought I trusted enough to move forward with that competition. And as I started to see my body change, obviously I was learning on how to activate your muscles, on how to lift, on how to do this and that. So like I said, you're always learning, and
I feel like that's so important, like why coaches give you the right information, because the first bit of like coaching information that you receive, you soak up like a sponge. It's like your first time.
It will solidify your not solidify, but it will start your kind of foundation to build yourself
your
up.
thought process.
Right?
And then if you hear like 2 + 2 = 5 from a different coach, you'll be like, no, it doesn't. I was told this by this coach, and then it's actually the second coach is telling you the right way or the better way for you. But I feel like that's why it's so important. Like anyone like sharing information, maybe someone that's experienced in the gym, like make sure you're telling the right information to someone. It's annoying when people on social media and stuff, they have this massive audience and they're just there for the drama and to talk shit, and they have the biggest audience but they don't know anything, and they just talk a bunch of shit, and they just like,
so tell me the right way.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
because those are the people like, oh, they have all the followers, they have all the money, they have all the cars, they must know everything, but they probably don't.
No, you have to kind of, if you talk shit about it, then tell us what the right way to do it is.
Okay, so first experience doing a prep.
Yeah, he was good.
How did you do in the show?
Honestly, I went in with no expectations.
Okay.
I went in, like I said, from the start, I think my mentality was in the right place. I was in it to win it.
Yeah.
But you also have to come to the realization that you might place last.
Yeah, you might literally come last. Yeah.
Yes. And you have to be a good winner and a good loser. So you have to prepare yourself for that. However, I hate losing. I think anyone does.
Yeah, we all do. But
this time I was like approaching the if it fits your macros situation. So it was pretty doable for me because I didn't go into any like a strict meal plan. So it wasn't like extreme restriction. So I think it was a gradual transition, and I also, like I said, mentally prepared myself to win it or not. So I just wanted to bring my best and see what I could achieve. Okay. And I won first place and overall.
Oh my god! So, yeah. Here is the girl that literally, you know, in the beginning had like a lack of confidence, and then after like years of dedicating yourself to something, actively trying to learn the right information, you know, doing the research, finding the right coach and stuff, someone that actually like, you know, point you in the right direction, and through like your efforts and stuff, you actually like step on stage and you just fucking win.
Yeah, I just took over.
That's
when I heard my number for the overall, I was like,
that is amazing.
No freaking way.
That is it's all right. I don't know if it's gonna mess it up or
whatever.
What.
I'm excited because it like takes me back to that moment.
Right.
Yeah, because it was like insane. My family was freaking out, and man, it was just the best feeling because I was like, all of this, because you have to realize when you're prep, it's such a selfish sport because it's all you, my meals, my cardio, my time, this and that, and your family kind of preps with you too. Because you're depleted, you're moody, you're tired, you don't want to do anything. And sometimes when people are talking to you, you're in your own world and you're maybe thinking of your next meal, or maybe you're thinking, I don't want to do this, I feel like crap. Yeah. So if one thing that my first prep taught me was do not take it out on others, because you chose to do this, and you have to come to the conclusion that others do not have to suffer because you decided to do this, because you're doing this by choice. That's
a really good point. That's actually a really good point, because like you know, when someone, I feel like roid rage is a great example of this. Like you decided to put that thing in your ass. Yeah. Don't let it shape you, because everyone around you is going to be affected by your temperament.
You chose to do that.
And the way you act, right? Yeah. So it's no excuse to be an absolute dickhead to your girlfriend or your mom or your dad or someone like in your family, close friends, when you decided to make that decision. And you need to learn how to like check yourself, you know, and not
snap out of it. It's like you're tired, you're hungry. I get hangry a lot.
Yeah.
And I swear that
well, you're Latino already. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to mess with that.
So I used to get hangry, and I used to just lash out on Jeff. He's a saint for putting up with that.
Fair play.
But,
good guy.
But then that prep taught me that. Do not lash out on people because you're doing this by choice.
Okay.
They do not have to pay for your choices.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know, decisions that are made in a selfish way, you know, should be kept selfish. They should be kept your business, and they shouldn't affect the people around you. And that's definitely a good point to add. Like, I'm glad that you mentioned that.
I just want to emphasize that because I feel like so many people just lose it on others, and I'm just like don't do that.
Literally, like, people are like, oh, this is important to me, this is what I want, fuck what everyone else thinks. Like, who cares how I treat anyone else, because like, I want this and I want that. And those are the people that end up alone. And I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to friends, to family. They become so self-centered and so, like, you know, involved in their own life. And it's all good and well having goals, it's all good and well having dreams and aspirations and things that you want to do, but the second you forget how you're meant to be as a human being and a friend and a decent boyfriend or girlfriend, that's when you're going to start losing. But you're going to start gaining, maybe in a financial or success way, but when you've got no one to fucking share it with, it literally means nothing.
Yeah, it becomes meaningless because you're celebrating by yourself.
It's like the cringiest quote in the book. It's like, what's the point in a kingdom if you don't have a princess to share it with?
Exactly.
It's like, it just...
You're alone.
Yeah, you're going to be alone on that big fucking throne with all your jewels and stuff, and no one's going to give a shit because you were a dick on the way getting there, and then no one cares or is proud of you because no one liked how you got there.
Exactly.
So you gotta do it right.
You get what you give out, basically.
Yeah.
And also... on kind of to turn it around, you will find out who your real friends are and who really cares about your goals, your dreams, and what you want for yourself, and they will support you throughout that journey, because you will lose a lot of people. Yeah,
you will. I feel like that's the way, like, whenever you want to do anything in life, you know, when you go towards something, it's if the people aren't there to support you, not that they have to. No. It's just about being a good friend. Yeah. Like, you don't have to be like...
Give your space.
Yeah, you don't have to be cheery. Like, a good friend is someone that you can not talk to for 6 months and then see them the next day, and like, you have so much to catch up on. Not like there's someone that's... Because I know there are people out there that are dealing with this shit right now because of, like, you know, restrictions, and you can't go see your friends. There are people like, oh, you haven't texted me in a week. You must... You know, what have I done? What have I done wrong? Yeah. And that's just a self-paranoia. Like... maybe that person has something other than you going on in their life, and that's okay because everyone has a busy life. Like, exactly, you know, a good friend will be there whether it be 6 months to a year, 5 years down in the future. There are a couple friends that I was friends with in school that if they text me now was like, Brandon, I need your help, I'd book a flight and just go, because they were that special, and that's a real friend. And the people that aren't like that, get rid of them.
You don't need them
because they're not there to positively impact your life. You're not going to be there for them because, well, they're not but they're not going to be there for you. So why would you want to waste your time on someone that, like, wouldn't reciprocate the same amount of effort?
Protect your energy.
Just like a relationship, a friendship, it's give and take. You know, in a relationship, like, you wouldn't treat that person any different, or you shouldn't treat that person any different than if they're your best friend, because it's the friend you're going to spend forever with. It's like, exactly, it's got to work. But back on, like, we're just having a chat.
Yeah, it's just like one thing leads to the other, and then we're just go like this. Yeah, well, it's hard not to, like.
This is what happens when you got a good friend. Yeah. You just chat and chat. Yeah. But in terms of, like, your most recent show, because that was literally just like
Olympia Amateurs.
So when did you stop prep? When did you compete?
I competed. When was it? December 12th.
So it's been like 4 months since prep.
Yes.
From the beginning of prep, because obviously this was the longest prep you'd ever done.
This was the most taxing prep I've ever had.
Was the motivation at the beginning of prep on February the same as it was when you began in June, July, when there was like that show that you were aiming towards? And like over the period, what did you experience? Like the ups and the downs and stuff, like knowing if you were going to compete or not knowing you were going to compete. Like what did you feel?
So when I started in July, actually I was very excited because I actually was working with a different coach. Yeah. So I decided to leave my old coach.
So you were ready, like raring to go.
I was like, decisions, like all in, and that was it. Yeah. Whatever it took. And I joined Team Atlas with James. And I was super excited because he obviously like coaches Laura Lee Chapatos and Jen Dory, like, come on. So,
loads of people.
Yeah, so I was just so excited, and I started changing really fast because I was so committed to it, because it was so strict and very extreme from the beginning.
But also, like, I feel like because you allowed your body to rest and grow, you had a good off season, so your body was susceptible and responsive to like the changes, because like you were ready for it.
Yeah, so I basically took like 8 months off season.
Yeah, which is a good time.
And I was very consistent during that time. So I think
I remember the leg workout you took me through.
Yeah,
I was done.
Yes.
When me and Maria met, I feel like after like a couple of weeks or a month, she took me for a leg workout, and my hamstrings and the inside of my legs, I couldn't walk properly for days.
People always have this like
up.
mentality that bikini girls are only like about band workouts.
No.
Like, no, you still gotta lift heavy. You still gotta eat.
Yeah, just because the girl next to you is doing a bikini show, just because she can't build as muscle as fast as like the dudes in the gym, doesn't mean she didn't train harder than you to get what she's got.
Exactly.
Because it's hard.
So yeah, this stereotype needs to end.
It does. Like, you know, there's the whole stereotype between like, oh, bikini competitors don't train, or like men's physique guys don't train as hard as like bodybuilders and stuff. Like, it's just relative to your genetics, capacity to push, and what you're willing to, I guess, take.
Mentality,
yeah. Like what you're willing to take mentally, what you're willing to put in your body. Like, you know, it's all relative to your goal.
Exactly.
But everyone's working hard, and that's why I feel like people need to like remember and like respect that, like, you know, you might not be the hardest worker in the room, and that's okay, as long as you are working as hard as you can work.
Yeah. So your 100% doesn't have to be the same as your body next to you.
Exactly, because you have no idea what they're willing to do or what they're not willing to do. Like, you have to just compare yourself to only you.
Exactly.
And I feel like in competing, that's really important. Otherwise, you're just going to be constantly comparing, and it's a dark hole.
Honestly, competing is like all about aesthetics. Exactly. And it doesn't matter how hard you worked, if you hit PRs or if you did the most cardio. Judges won't look at that. Like, they just look at your final package, whether you look good or not. Yeah. You will be noticed, or they will look over you and they will look at the next, because
and they will
you
throw
did not
you
stand
to the
out.
wind.
It doesn't matter.
And you have to be okay with that. Like, no matter how hard you work, like, that judge may not be what they want to see on that day, and they will they'll toss you aside, and it'll make you feel like unwanted or just irrelevant. But it's not the case. It's
a harsh sport, to be honest, because, like I said, you don't know who's going to show that day, and you cannot think you're the best or that you're 100% ready. You will never feel 100% ready, because there's always more in the tank.
Unless you are,
I guess. But one thing I'm going to say is, if you're thinking of competing, and as a female, I give you this piece of advice is, if you're struggling with eating disorders or relationship with food or body image issues, and you think that competing is going to fix it or make you feel better about yourself, you are in for a big fail, because this is just going to dig you deeper in a hole that you don't want to get yourself into. So getting yourself in the right mental space will be my main advice, because, like I said, this is solely based on the way you look. And if you already struggle with that, you cannot expect to get better, and you might break, because this is mostly... People think it's mostly like physical exhaustion.
It's not.
It's really mental.
Yeah.
It's all mental, because one, you're going to be hungry. You have to stop yourself from cheating on your diet or eating 10 grams more of rice. You have to get yourself up, like, and then just get cardio going, because if you have 2 to 2 hours and a half of cardio for your day, you have to break it up and do some fasted cardio and then some post-workout cardio. So you have to mentally get yourself ready.
And then most people have a job. And they have to prepare their meals. Like, they have families and friendships and relationships and stuff. And like, you have to learn to prioritize those things. And like, you know, it's whatever stage you are in your journey to like of fitness, I feel like, as well. Because like sometimes, I mean, the off season for me now just feels physical. It doesn't feel mental at all, because I fucking love training so much. I go to the gym like I brush my teeth. I just do it because I love it, and it's the way I relief stress. It's the way I feel good about myself, and I love getting a pump in the gym when I've eaten a bunch of carbs and sugars. And you know, I had a pizza the night before. I'm going to the gym and training arms, because what else would you train after you've eaten a pizza? Exactly. That's all physical.
Legs. Booty.
Yeah. Pizza, it's ass day.
Yeah.
But when it comes to prep, it's a different ball game because it's not physical anymore. As soon as those first enjoyable few months are out the way and you're starting to notice new lines and stuff, when the pain begins and there is something in the fridge that is for someone else and isn't you, your brain will start to convince yourself it's for you. And it was never meant for any other purpose than to go inside your esophagus and to be consumed by you, because the brain literally chemically, when leptin levels are like depleted, your brain is convincing you got to eat or you're going to die.
It thinks you're going to die.
It's survival mode.
Yeah.
So it's like when your heart has to be stronger than your head, that's what it is. It's like your want has to be stronger than your chemical imbalance in your body telling you to eat.
It's a constant fight and it sounds very masochist, to be honest. So many people are like, why do you do this to yourself? And sometimes I will question it myself, to be honest.
We always do.
Especially at the 8-week mark, I think, because things become a lot more, I don't want to say harsher or more extreme, because it depends on your coach's approach. Like my coach likes to get us ready like way ahead of time.
He wants you ready before you start prep.
Yes, because he likes to test like your carb ups and all that, which to me is better than you kind of playing catch up game when you're like 4 weeks out and you're like still not leaning off. And then I feel like
it's good for the coach to learn your body as you prep, as you do your off season and all that kind of thing, rather than experimenting 2 weeks before show. Oh, we're going to give you a slight carb up just to see what happens. Boom, digestion's finished, your body's out of whack and you'll never look the same again. Exactly. At least not until your body like levels again. There's so many things that the coach needs to learn, and it's good that that's the case. It's a good thing. It means that the coach cares about your goals and that you guys are on the same page. I feel like that's really important. But as you get deeper into like the lean kind of aesthetic look, your mind will stop playing games on you, and honestly like you will think that. Did you ever act on those games? Like, was there a moment
I did. I was weak.
Did you eat or did you binge?
No, I you could say I binged, I did on my
last prep all the time. It was fucking terrible.
I had to tell. So the first time my show got canceled, I went straight to sushi, all you can eat sushi, and I was just like, fuck this. I am fucking done, because I was upset. I'm not gonna lie, but that was the first prep run for me to be like, to prepare for 2 more cancellations down the road, which I was like still fighting to compete. And by the second time I was like, I think this is done. I think I gotta just throw the towel.
But I feel like at that point, like, calling it binging sounds so bad, but when you have like found out such bad news, when people eat, it releases endorphins into their brain. Like they're literally, why do you think when you're on a date with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you go to eat, go to the movies, you eat? Most of the things you do with your friends, it always concerns like some sort of food. It's because food is fun.
Yeah, but it is so fun. I'm a foodie, which is funny that I put myself through these things, but
but you can appreciate food more now.
Yes. Because it is a luxury to compete, to deprive yourself from food when you have it available, when other people around the world have nothing to eat. You really need to consider yourself very fortunate
that you can even do that. You have the option.
You have the choice to do it. So for you to complain sometimes like, oh, I'm hungry. Yes, it is your brain talking, but sometimes you need to shut up. Yeah,
because like at least you can eat. At least you have the opportunity to open the fridge, and there being a vast array of different fruits and vegetables and different things there. There are some people that open their fridge and they see rocks. They literally, and it's horrible to think about, but it does keep you a bit straighter on prep, to think about what you have and how lucky you are to be like, you know what, I'm about to compete and pay for my tan and pay for all these things that I can pay for because I can pay, because I got money.
Because I'm.
But some people can't.
Yeah. No.
So just shut the fuck up, do the thing, basically.
Yeah, do the thing. And I'm gonna go back to the binging, because I feel like it is okay to enjoy food in the moment, but when you get so depleted that you're so food focused, you will eat yourself, like you will eat yourself. You will eat until
I would if I could. I just can't do that much.
You can't. You don't have any meat on you.
Well.
I mean, okay. Whatever.
I got 2 ribs here that can be taken out.
Not very meaty. So, I'm just kidding. The part what's scary is because you don't stop until you feel sick. And even you go past beyond that point where you're sick, you keep feeding yourself even though you know food's always going to be there. And it just gets scary because you can't stop. obviously with the ups and downs emotionally, like the shows canceling, you being depleted, hungry, because I didn't have a cheat meal after that one that I had. I didn't have a cheat meal for I think it was 18 weeks.
18 weeks. I'm at 12 weeks. No, I'm at 13 weeks now with no cheat meal. I'm starting to feel it.
No, you will start to feel it.
Yeah.
And the only thing I will have was refeeds, and my refeeds were rice.
So just like more of the same.
Yes, because
no satiation. No,
my coach would like to just keep like all of my food sources clean, and just like.
But sometimes that's better. Sometimes it's like if someone gives you a little bit of something that you want more of it. But if someone gives you more of what you're already having, you don't even think about the other side because it's like you didn't get a taste for that sweet goodness.
That's still wrong because I could have eaten a whole pot of rice. I would look at that rice, and even Jeff was like, "Why do you just want to eat rice?" I'm like, "Because I'm hungry."
Yeah.
But because I had a goal in mind, you had to like keep pushing, and sometimes it was mind over matter, and the more you thought about it, the more energy it took out of you, and at some point you have no energy, so you just have to get to it. And don't think about it, just freaking do it. Like
just become a drone. Like just get to the end.
Just become a robot.
When you've put in so much work and you're so close, it doesn't hurt you to just switch off for like a month, get it done, look the best you've ever looked. Step on stage, present a package that you're proud of, whether you come away with a win or a last place. Like you can experience that sense of pride and being proud of yourself because you didn't slip up when it meant it. Yep. Like I experienced something on my last prep where like I was lucky enough to win the show, but I was on the stage with the first place questioning why the fuck I won, because I was like, I cheated on my diet 4 days before show, thinking, why have I got this first place? Because I didn't deserve it. And sometimes that's worse because you took it away from someone that probably worked harder than you. Not necessarily worked harder, but like if you knew that the person next to you had not cheated on their diet once and they got second, but you knew you cheated 7 times over a whole prep and it weren't that hard for you, who deserves to win really? Morally, not you. But
like I said, it's a very cutthroat sport where that doesn't freaking matter.
It is what it is.
It's how you look that day. Yeah. Because you can also have like the best like prep, like be like by the book, but you just don't look good the day of the show because one, you could have been stressed, you just spilled, like you carved up too much,
or you were even on your feet too much.
Exactly. Like anything can change. That day is like everything.
So with all these ups and downs, with all this uncertainty, did you feel pressured during the prep to carry on, or was it because you still wanted to?
At some point I felt pressured.
Okay.
Especially because the show was just here in Canada. Like you kept on moving, just like from June to like August to I think it was November, October, and then November. So I'm like still happening. So I need to keep going because
my tea's gone.
Well, you were thirsty.
It's a bit shit. Yeah.
I don't have a tea, so I'm fine.
You got a big bottle of water down there. It's on the bed.
So this is what you don't do on prep. You whine about things. You just keep moving along.
Just keep on doing it.
But I think I did feel the pressure because the world knew I was competing. I was putting myself out there, sharing my journey with everyone. And I was like, I need to finish this. I can't just quit because I started this. I'm going to finish it.
Yeah.
But after the show canceled the day before, I was like, I think this is it. I think I've hit rock bottom. And at that point, I wasn't even mad. I was laughing. Because I was like, I can't believe this happened. Like, joke's on us. Like, I pushed so hard and suffered so much. And I was like, joke's on me. This is not happening.
But again, that laughing is a survival mechanism. Like
because I was trying to cope.
Yeah.
With the fact that it had been canceled so many times before, and I was like, well, I gave it my all. I was happy that I gave it my all, and I pushed through. And I think that was the reason why I was laughing and trying to cope with the fact that it is what it is.
Of course. And it's hard. Like when you tell, like, if you don't have an audience, if you don't have people watching you, like even the pressure of telling like your best friend or, you know, someone in your family that you're going to do something and then you break and all these things happen and then like you feel pressured based on what you told them to continue on.
Yeah.
You know, and pressure's really hard and it can shape you, it can make you do things that you necessarily you know, don't want to do or wouldn't have done if it wasn't for that telling that person. Because like, you should feel free to choose to do something or to not do something. Like, you shouldn't feel pressure. If you want to do something one day, best believe that you are completely fucking okay to decide next day you don't want to do it, because you are your own person and you can decide to do whatever you want to do. You shouldn't feel pressured by anything. Now, one of the questions I have, which is something you did recently, and it was to do with the breast augmentation. I wanted to know if the decision to do that was based on pressure or if it was something you always wanted to do. Because looking at the bikini girls on the Olympia this year and what it is to be a bikini Olympian, they've got that shape, the hourglass figure. Is it something that you did because you want to be that, or is it something that you truly wanted yourself? And it's okay to have done it for the reason of the aesthetic. Yes. Because it's okay, you know, that's your fucking goal.
Like I said, you put yourself first, and whatever you want, people don't have a say.
Yeah,
especially
go do
if it's your body.
Yeah,
right?
like, you want to do something to your body. You want to get you got no lips. You can't even kiss someone. You wanted to get some lip injections. Go do it.
Yeah.
No one can tell you otherwise. You know, you're not happy with the lines on your forehead. Go get some Botox and shut the fuck up about it. Just do it. Make yourself feel good.
Do something about it.
Do something. The things I don't necessarily like is when people get like butt implants or like ab implants.
That's a whole different ball game, though.
Yeah. When
that's just like, no. Just build it.
There's levels to it.
You can't build boobs.
Yeah.
Not in this world.
If you're a guy, you can build boobs, but obviously as a girl, like it's something you're born with or you're not born with.
Yeah.
But with the guys that get like ab implants, I've seen videos and stuff where like people literally like they get calf implants, ab implants, and I'm just like, dude, like just go to the gym.
You can do anything.
You know, those are the things that like the prosthetics that I'm just like, I can't really agree with, and that's just me as a person. Maybe I'm just like not as awakened as them, and don't see my body as an avatar that I could just change. But in terms of your decision, like, why'd you do it?
So actually, it was all the way around. I felt pressure to not get them done.
Oh.
Because, so since I was 12, I just never like had big breasts.
Yeah.
Okay, so at my like highest weight, I started to see some, but as soon as I started losing weight, they were just completely gone.
Yeah.
And yes, it has to do a lot with your proportions for competing. However, it is not something that will make you, or I mean, I can't say will make you or break you, because it might. Depends.
Because I know that Dana Lynn Bailey before, she won the Olympia in like women's physique, I think maybe. She won twice and she had no boobs.
But also that's a different, like they look for a different shape.
This is true.
Now, for bikini, you're looking for the round shoulders, like your tiny waist and your glutes, right? Yeah. So sometimes this can really like throw off your waist to like shoulder ratio kind of thing.
Oh, of course, because it's like an illusion. Like I guess like the bigger your boobs are, the smaller your waist looks.
Exactly. So I
understand.
Yes, this was one of the reasons why I got them done. Not solely this, but I knew it was gonna help me down the road. Just had a conversation with myself, as always, we all do. Yeah. And then I was like, you're scared of getting them done because you're scared of getting judged. Because the world expected me to not get them because I was preaching and I was trying to tell myself that I didn't want them, especially after all these like breast illness started like going off and on the internet. I knew so many of the people in the fitness industry I looked up to that were getting explants because they were making them systemically sick. Yeah, because you can't get side effects for anything. Exactly. So there was not enough research to back it, and like also the percentage of girls who were dealing with this were very, very small. Of course. However, in the circle of the people I was following, it was like one after the other. But I think it was people just trying to find a reason why they were unhappy or there was something wrong with them, and they were blaming it on their. They were blaming. And I know now. Yeah. Someone I know personally, it's big in the fitness industry. She told me it wasn't my implants, but I got an explant. Yeah. So that just like to me was like, okay, I need to do this because I want it, and I need to forget that I just preach so many times on my Instagram, be happy with whatever you got. Which is kind of what I just said. It's like one day you can decide to do something and the next day you have the ability to choose no. Yeah. I want to decide something else. And that's completely fucking okay. Like one day you can be like, I want boobs. The next day be like, no, I don't. And then you can preach for years and years and years. Like, what is it? Itty bitty litty titty committee? Yeah. I don't know. Itty bitty committee. Itty bitty committee. I was such a proud representative and I was like preaching hard. I'm like, be proud of your itty bitty committees. Yeah. And then I just realized I was talking myself out of getting them.
Sure. And then, but then it's okay to stand for something. But then if you look deep down and you look at yourself in the mirror, you're like, you know what? Fuck. What would I look like with some boobs?
I was the days where I'm like, this doesn't feel right because it just didn't feel properly, right? Yeah. Then I just made the decision and I made the announcement on Instagram. I just wanted to share because I wanted to be open. Like I try to be as genuine as I can on my Instagram. And when I have something to say, I'll say it. But I also know when it's okay to like back up a little and like sometimes take something back because you're not always right about everything you say. And things change.
Everyone makes mistakes.
Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone changes their mind. And that's what we're here to do. We're not perfect. So
exactly.
I decided to be open about this, and I had so many girls reach out.
I was expecting that.
And I didn't. You know how many girls were like, can you please tell me how it is? I'm thinking, I was like so blown away by how many messages I got. Obviously, I got the, I'm going to have to stop following you. I used to follow you because you were 100% genuine and natural. And you embrace who you were as you came to the world. And I'm like, fine, that's your choice. That's finding
your audience.
Exactly.
And that's okay to do as well.
But I had more positive than, it was like a very small percentage of negatives. Then I was just, that was the moment where I was like, this just feels right.
Yeah.
And then I went to surgery and then now we're here.
And you're here.
6 weeks after.
It's literally only been 6 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So you still can't train upper body seriously.
I started training gradually, yeah. But yeah, everything feels right. And if you do think of getting your boobs done, take your time to heal. Do not rush, because I know so many girls who rush into things thinking that you can defeat the odds. But if you spend so much money, because this is like over 10 grand, like you don't just, it's not like 2 grand. You're paying over 10 grand for this.
That's the same price of a car. Like
no.
It's like a shit car.
Okay, a shit car.
Like, I mean, 10 grand. I mean, you can get a pretty decent Corsa in the UK for like 6 grand. Like, I mean, I don't
want to be like, oh, she's a baller.
My first car when I was like 18 was a Corsa, and that was like 6 grand, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah, you can buy a car for like 5 grand now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
so it's worth looking after.
So, one, it's a freaking investment. So you better believe you're going to take your time to heal properly so they look good. Because I feel like some girls are like, they play the tough guys, but then the boobs look completely shitty.
Then they go the shape that you didn't expect them to be, and then you'll be disappointed. So like, you know,
then you blame the surgeon. It's like those athletes that do not follow their plan, they're going to blame the coach, when it's like, dude, the meal plan is not a magic pill that you take. You do the work with the ingredients that are given to you.
I just like it's hard to not talk about the people that go from like coach to coach to coach to coach to coach to coach.
That just shows how shit athletes they are.
It just shows, because like, you know, if you're with a good coach and they produce great results with so many different athletes, they clearly know what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if the relationship doesn't work, if you don't get along on a friendship level, communication, if it's not what you were expecting in the beginning, then sure. But if you blame the physique that you looked like on stage, like, and it's their fault, or you think that like they did something wrong when like it was your choice, like you did the things that you were doing in the day and potentially you didn't work as hard as you should have.
Yeah.
Maybe you skipped out on cardio too many times and it's because of you that you lost.
Yeah.
And take some responsibility. You know,
I think people fail to take responsibility, and I think that just shows a lot of character.
Yeah.
And
like, how could I have lost?
You can't go through life like that. Also, if you're one of those people who hire a coach, but then you question, there is a certain level of questioning you have to
of course, just
have
learned experience.
Exactly. And like, you can ask questions to your coach. If your coach doesn't want to answer questions, then there's something wrong. So red flag right there.
It's because it's a copied and pasted plan, and they actually don't know what they're talking about.
So you can ask all the questions. However, you cannot be like, well, I've been doing this and this, I don't think this will work. Then don't hire a coach. Because I think that as a coach myself, it's like, you're investing money. Let me do my job. If you don't want to do what I tell you, then what are we doing here?
Exactly. And just because you're a coach yourself doesn't mean that you can't have a coach as well. Like, it's completely different ballgame.
Yeah.
So different. Like, if you have the ability to coach someone else, because like, I have done preps myself and I sell my app, and people are like, well, if you can sell an app and coach people like how to train and stuff, like why do you need a coach for?
We are worse judges.
It's because you can't judge yourself, and like you're not gonna push yourself the way you need to be pushed.
You're either too easy on yourself or too harsh, because I know people who have coached themselves and they're so harsh, or you're way too easy and lax, and you're just like,
and you can always learn more. You can a different perspective is two brains are always better than one, and that's why even if you're the best coach in the world, you should still probably have someone look over your physique and tell you, yes and no to things.
You need a support system.
That's what it is. You
can't do this. You could do it by yourself, but like I said, it's a mental game. You need someone by your side.
And one thing that's exciting, I guess, for you now is because like now you've had the surgery, you're at the other end of healing and stuff. The next time you prep and the next time you step on stage,
I'm so excited.
Gonna be a completely different thing, right?
Even leaving my coach was like, whoa. Even now, just like off season, my proportions are so. Now I'm not promoting breast augmentations. However, things have like visibly changed. I am so excited because I know I can push harder. I can like bring like a better physique, and now much more improved in all areas.
The proportion, a different proportional physique will be on stage, not necessarily because. It can be it's the same with steroids, honestly. It really is. It's like, the person's going to look better on stage if they took something to enhance them, and the person that got their boobs done on a bikini show may look proportionally better, but it doesn't mean you should. Doesn't mean you should put the needle in your ass. Doesn't mean you should get the boobs. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, your goals are your goals and stuff. You shouldn't compare yourself to those people.
To each their own,
as we've spoken about.
And do it for you. Like, if you think that you have to do it for the judges, no, don't do it.
Okay.
Because down the road you're gonna regret it.
When is your next show? When do you want to compete? December. I'm doing, if God allows this like situation to calm down in Canada. God, Jesus loves you, but I think...
Don't say that word, it's so ugly.
But I think you're a CUNT. It's a great mug. It's Geordie's mum's. Linda Dixon, everyone.
It's a very beep word.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say it. I'll say fuck, but I won't say that.
Yeah.
It's a bit too harsh.
It's a C word.
Yeah.
Call it C word. But yeah, I'm thinking of competing December. Do Vancouver Pro Show and see from there. I have hopes that will be the show.
I think it will be. Like, it's towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
We're gonna say a positive thing. Yes. It will be on.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, my show is way before that, and it better be on. So
how far out are you?
I'm 6 weeks out.
Okay.
6 weeks now. So it's crunch time. Now it's like my workout today was fucking hard, but it was an amazing workout. And you see all the veins, you see everything come out and stuff. You see now it's because like calories have been dropped, cardio has been increased, supplements have been increased.
It's getting real.
Yeah. And
how many times do you train? What did you train today?
Back and biceps.
How many times do you train that a week?
Back twice.
So you got 10 more back workouts left.
That's literally it, right?
So you gotta make every single one.
And like my leg workouts, I've got 2. I've got 10 leg workouts to make my legs look at how they're gonna look on stage. Otherwise, they ain't gonna look on stage.
You got 11 because you on peak week you do your last one like the day.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
It is what it is. Essentially now, like it's getting real for me, and like not that I'm becoming like food focused yet, because it's usually towards the very end for me. Usually
5 weeks you don't care about food.
Yeah.
4 weeks you're just like this is it.
I
either like do this or
no. For me, that's when I binged on my last prep. Timescale, last prep. Started 16 weeks out, 14 weeks out. Bearing in mind, I was allowed a cheat meal every single weekend. 14 weeks out, went to Paris, ate like shit for 3 days. 14 weeks out, massive cheat meal. 10 weeks out, huge binge. 7 weeks out, went to London with Alpha Elite people, got smashed, ate so much for like 2 days in a row.
And you still won?
3 weeks out, binged.
You did not deserve that trophy.
18 days out, binged. I was there 18 days out with a pizza and nachos outside Domino's, hiding from the person I was with at the time.
I hate guys.
And then 4 days out.
We will never be able to get away with something like that.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is the contrast. Imagine all those times.
Yeah.
I haven't even had a refeed, let alone a cheat meal, in 12 or 13 weeks now. This is so different.
Well,
on
you've
so many
matured,
levels.
Brandon, in
I'm
every
a man
area.
now.
In every area of your life.
Every area.
You take it serious.
Every area.
And you know what? That's exactly what life is about. That's a prime example. Every single time will get better because you learn something the previous one. So
and for me, it's about not feeling the shame I felt on stage.
Exactly.
And not letting myself down.
So you don't want that feeling again, therefore you won't do it again.
Yeah.
So
All
that's exactly what we wanted to get at from the start of this podcast.
Yeah, that's it. All right. That is going to be it for this episode of the HardCast. Your Instagram, what is it?
Maria Carvajal.
Maria Carvajal.
Fitness
on Instagram. Go check her out. Show some love. And thanks for being on the podcast. This was actually
a pleasure.
This was the 3rd episode.
Wow.
And I'm having a great time doing it. I don't know if you can see, if you hear at the very end, the first couple have gone so well. Like, the love has been incredible. So I actually invested in another one of these mics, which are like, the sound quality is better, and all the sound is going into the same mixer. I don't have to cut up 2 audio clips now. The editing is going to be so much easier. And
better quality for the audience.
Yeah,
it's all in.
I hope so.
Not half-assed.
Quality content. All right, guys, we are going to sign out right now. I hope you're having a fantastic time wherever you are in the world, morning, day, night, whatever it is that you're currently doing while listening to this podcast. Some of you are probably doing things that I don't want to know that you're doing, but at least you're tuning in for the podcast regardless. So yeah, thank you so much for coming. It's been amazing.
It's a pleasure.
I love this.
So happy I got to come and talk about it.
Me too. All right, we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.